President Donald Trump is set to become the first sitting president since Ronald Reagan to address the National Rifle Association.
The National Rifle Association, who are really good people, by the way. I've gotten to know them. They are good people. They love this country. They endorsed me, the earliest endorsement I believe they've ever given, but they endorsed me. We are going to protect and preserve our Second Amendment, okay?
So what can we expect from his speech? NRA Executive Director Chris Cox joins us from our nation's capital. Chris, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Steve.
Well, I guess you invited him, and he said, I'm coming, right?
He did, and we're excited. We're going to have a big celebration in Atlanta next weekend. We're expecting over 80,000 NRA members from all over the country to join in celebration, and there's one particular member that they're very excited to hear from, and that's the President of the United States.
When he was out on the stump, there was no mistaking the fact that he was 100% behind your organization.
Well, this president ran as the most pro-Second Amendment, pro-individual freedom candidate in the history of the country, and if you look at how he's governed over the first 100 days, he's arguably been the most effective and most successful in the first 100 days of any presidency. So we're really excited about not only him speaking, but Donald Trump being president of the United States and having a president who supports this basic individual and fundamental freedom.
And as you said earlier, he will be the first president since Ronald Reagan addressed the NRA. Here's a snippet of Mr. Reagan back in 1983.
It does my spirit good to be with people who never lose faith in America, who never stop believing in her future, and who never back down 1 inch from defending the constitutional freedoms that are every American's birthright.
You know, historically, Republicans, conservative candidates, are supporters of the NRA. But when Donald Trump was running for president, I mean, just the fact that he was so supportive and so verbal and vocal in the support had a lot of people going, wow, he's all in for them.
Well, you know, we've had presidents in the past who have been great supporters of the organization. Ulysses S. Grant was an NRA president. Teddy Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy was a life member. We've had, President Reagan speak in 1983, which was a great moment for NRA members. But, Steve, this is a great moment and a great time in Second Amendment history. We have the most pro-Second Amendment president coming to speak to the National Rifle Association. It's going to be a great day for America, a great day for our members, and we're excited to have him there.
Well, I know you're excited to have him there, but you know there are going to be a bunch of protesters out front. You know that, right?
Well, that's what happens when you lose. Their candidate lost. This president, ultimately, you judge politicians on whether or not they keep their promises. This president promised to put the Supreme Court back on the side of individual freedom, back on the side of the Second Amendment and the American people, and he kept that promise. For the first time now, thanks to President Trump, we are back to a 5-4 majority on the Supreme Court. We now have a Justice Department, thanks to Donald Trump and Jeff Sessions, that's not interested in political justice, but is interested in prosecuting criminals. We have an Interior Secretary in Ron Zinke that understands that hunters and sportsmen should be able to enjoy our national treasure and America's lands as well. We have a lot of work to do, but so far the first 100 days have been fantastic from a Second Amendment standpoint.
It sounds like you're 100% behind him. Chris Cox from the NRA, thank you very much for joining us on this Tuesday, sir.
It's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
All right.